You wake up, you brush your teeth, completely normal, and then you spit, and there it is, pink in the sink. You stare at it for a second, and then you rinse it away. You tell yourself it's nothing. Maybe you brushed too hard. Maybe you need to floss more. Maybe it'll just go away on its own, and you go on with your day. Here's the thing. That moment, that pink in the sink, is one of the most commonly ignored health signals in the entire human body. Not because people don't care, but because it doesn't hurt. It doesn't stop you from eating, from sleeping, from living. So it gets filed under, I'll deal with it later. But later never really comes, does it? I've spoken to people who've had bleeding gums for 3 years, 5 years, some for over a decade. They adjusted their brushing technique. They switched toothpaste. They bought the expensive electric toothbrush, and the bleeding never fully stopped. If that sounds familiar, stay with me, because what I'm about to share changed the way I think about oral health completely, and it's not what any dentist ever told me. Let's start with something that almost nobody talks about. Inside your mouth right now, at this very moment, there are over 700 species of bacteria. Some of them are essential. They help break down food, protect your enamel, keep your breath fresh. They are supposed to be there. Your mouth actually depends on them. But here's where it gets interesting. When the balance between the good and the bad, bacteria is disrupted, when harmful bacteria start to take over, especially along your gum line, your immune system kicks in. It sees the threat, and it responds the only way it knows how, with inflammation. That inflammation is what makes your gums bleed. Not the brushing, not the pressure, the inflammation. And the reason this is so important to understand is because if you're only treating the surface, brushing harder, using stronger mouthwash, rinsing with salt water, you're not actually touching the root cause. You're just managing the symptom. This condition has a name, gingivitis. And what makes it so easy to ignore is that it's painless in the early stages. Completely painless. You wouldn't know it was there if not for that little pink trace in the sink every morning. But here's the part that stopped me cold when I first read about it. Gingivitis affects close to 50% of adults. Half. And most of them have no idea. They think their gums are just sensitive. They think it's normal. They think it's genetic. It's not genetic, it's environmental. And that means it can change. Before I go deeper, and I promise there's more to this story, I want to mention something briefly, and I'll come back to it later. When I started looking into what actually supports gum health at this level, the bacterial level, not just the surface, I came across something called Prodentim. It's a probiotic supplement developed specifically for the oral environment. Not for your gut, for your mouth. I'm not going to oversell it. That's not what this video is about. But the reason I'm mentioning it now is because everything I'm about to explain, the bacteria, the inflammation, the imbalance, Prodentim was designed with exactly that in mind. And if at any point what I'm saying resonates with what you've been experiencing, the link is in the comments. Just something to be aware of. Now, back to what's really going on. Here's the insight that most people, and honestly most, routine dental appointments never get to. Your mouth is not separate from your body. It is the entrance to it. Everything that lives in your oral environment travels. Bacteria from an inflamed gum line can enter your bloodstream. They can migrate to your gut, disrupt your digestive ecosystem, and trigger immune responses in places you'd never expect. There is growing research connecting chronic oral inflammation to cardiovascular disease, metabolic dysfunction, and even cognitive decline over time. I'm not saying bleeding gums will cause all of those things. That would be alarmist and unfair, but I am saying this. The state of your mouth is a mirror, and most of us have stopped looking. When we focus only on the visible symptom, the bleeding, and not the microbial environment causing it, we're essentially putting tape over a warning light on the dashboard. The light turns off, but the engine problem is still there. And here's what nobody in the toothpaste aisle tells you. Mouthwash. The kind that kills 99.9% of bacteria, kills the good ones too, the ones your gums actually need to stay healthy. So in trying to fix the problem, a lot of people are accidentally making the underlying imbalance worse. That idea of not just removing the bad but actively restoring the good is what shifts everything. So what does it actually look like to address this properly? The fundamentals still matter. I'll never tell you they don't. Brushing, flossing, cutting back on sugar, drinking more water. These are real and they matter. If you're not doing them consistently, start there. But for a lot of people who already do all of that and still see that pink in the sink every morning, there's a layer underneath that hygiene alone can't fully reach. That layer is the microbiome. Research over the last decade has increasingly pointed toward oral probiotics, specific strains of beneficial bacteria, as one of the most promising ways to actually restore balance in the mouth. Not just clean it, restore it. Strains like Lactobacillus reuteri and Lactobacillus paracasei have been studied specifically for their ability to reduce gum inflammation, inhibit plaque-forming bacteria, and support the kind of healthy oral environment where your gums can actually heal. Think of it like this. You've been trying to fix a garden that's been taken over by weeds by cutting them down every day. It works, temporarily, but the weeds keep coming back because nothing stronger has taken root. Oral probiotics are the seeds. You're not just clearing the problem, you're building something that makes the problem harder to come back. Now, I want to come back to something I mentioned earlier, Prodentim. I came across it while researching exactly what we've been talking about today. It's a chewable probiotic tablet with 3.5 billion CFUs of bacterial strains, including Lactobacillus reuteri and Lactobacillus paracasei, combined with additional nutrients like inulin, malic acid and tricalcium phosphate, all chosen for their role in supporting oral health. I'll be completely straight with you. I don't know your specific situation. I don't know how long you've been dealing with bleeding gums, or what else you've tried, or what else might be going on. What I can say is that the science behind the approach, supporting and repopulating the oral microbiome with targeted bacterial strains, is real, and it's backed by genuine research. And when I look at what Prodentim is doing, it's exactly that approach. If you've been dealing with this for a while, if you've brushed, flossed, rinsed, changed your toothpaste, and still see blood, this might be the angle you haven't tried yet. The link is in the comments. No pressure. Read it, look at the ingredients, make your own decision. I just think if I were sitting where you might be sitting right now, I'd want to know something like this existed. The next time you see pink in the sink, I hope you don't just rinse it away. Not because it's an emergency, but because your body is patient and quiet and it only speaks up when something needs attention. That little signal every morning, it's been trying to tell you something. Your mouth is one of the most honest reflections of what's happening inside you, and you deserve to actually listen to it. If this video was useful, share it. There's probably someone in your life who brushes past that signal every morning and has never stopped to ask why. Maybe this is what they needed to hear. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.